lines in a film. How many movies have said a variation of this, or how many times have, basically it became a line of when the shit goes down, we're going to need a bigger boat became the response.
Right.
And then the ending with him, he's sinking. This is the final time. If he doesn't get it, he's fucked. He's dead. And then he shoots a few times, and then he finally gets it, Smile, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
One of the greatest endings ever because it was satisfying.
I was about to say the most satisfying ending to a movie.
Because
even though people still bitch about it.
Because unlike, other horror films that revolve around a monster or a serial killer or some type of supernatural being, this is a shark, and it's okay if you blow him up. It's okay if you kill him. This is the one time where, you kill one shark, another one can still pop up.
Yeah.
So it's not like you kill off your villain, This happens to be This happens to be the best looking shark ever on film. And considering the fact that they had so much trouble with this goddamn thing, they named him.
Yeah.
They named him Bruce, by the way. And
fake shark.
And half of the time, he didn't work. And he's the realest, fakest looking. I mean, he's the realest. He's the. How can I put this where it makes sense? He is the best looking fakish. Fuck.
He is the. Hang on. He's the most realistic fake shark to ever be in a movie.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Gotcha.
He
don't worry, Marv. Don't move.
He was the best looking fake shark ever.
Yes. That scene where he's feeding the chum and he pops up.
Yeah, which leads to we're going to need a bigger boat.
Which leads to that. But, I just want to make sure that we state how iconic that scene. I mean, just talking to you, I can see it in my mind.
Oh yeah.
Cigarette, just that fucking performance in this movie.
You think you got it bad? Come down here and shovel some of this shit.
We were supposed to go and watch this in theaters today.
Yes, but we had a big storm in town today.
Fuck it up for everybody.
That knocked out several people's powers, including
the one theater we have in town.
Yeah, the one theater over there. We had a Sheets lose power. Everything on that side of town pretty much lost power. And it sucks because we were looking forward to seeing Jaws in the theater. It's a part of the flashback series that we have in our theater where they take an older film and they play it,
Yes,
they have a new one every month, and they play it on Sundays and Wednesdays. And they are having it Wednesday, but we both have to work and we can't go see it. And today would have been the perfect day to go see it, but you can't do shit if you don't have power. So
yeah, unfortunately, but
in the end, this is one of the best horror movies ever made. It was one of the most realistic horror movies ever made, and it's one of the most
great fucking score.
Yeah, the score is great. I mean, you can't leave out the score. I mean, it's
iconic.
Yeah.
Everybody, even if you haven't really seen Jaws and somebody goes dun,
right, it's like
dun,
if you take out the music in this, I mean, it would still be kind of scary, but not as much.
No,
it's the same thing with Halloween. Half of what makes Halloween work is the music.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that though.
If you take the Halloween music out of Halloween, it might be actually kind of be boring.
It'd be flat.
Yeah. Same thing with this. But once you hear that iconic, dun dun, you know that the shark is close. So, Anyway, this is a 5-star movie for me. Some of you might know I'm doing my top 150, and all I can say is this is a 5-star movie. So I'm not going to tell you where it lands on my list, but if I give it a 5-star ranking, know that it's going to be pretty goddamn high.
Right.
So
I haven't done mine yet, but I promise
I'll give you a hint.
I know it's in single digits.
It's in my top 10. So
it'd have to be, because it'd be in mine.
And before we get out of here, we can't not talk about the fact that some people will argue up and down all day long that Jaws is not a horror film.
Yes, I've heard this before.
And if you are one of these people and you have your doubts and you do not believe that this is a horror, suspense, thriller movie, and you can actually throw in adventure in there,
Yeah.
But if you don't think that it's all of these things and you don't think about this movie as horror, let me kind of paint a picture for you. There is a killer shark, a great white shark, a 25-foot shark, almost bigger than a boat, tearing people apart very violently. Okay? Eating people.
Yeah.
Now, is this Frankenstein? No. Is this a haunted house? No. Is this Leatherface, Michael, Jason, or Freddy? No.
Absolutely not.
This is realistic horror because this can really happen.
Yeah, we can all get in the water and die from a shark attack.
Right. Shark attacks, lead. I mean, if you go right now to Disney Plus, they have that, what is it, National Geographic thing?
Yeah.
You can watch a series called When Sharks Attack. I've been watching it recently.
Right.
I didn't even know we were going to do this today, but I've been watching shark shit. And
things happen for a reason.
And it's not that a shark will swallow you whole or eat you. It's the fact that it could bite you in half, or it can bite one of your limbs, and you can literally bleed out before you get back to shore.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. Because you can't put pressure on a wound in the water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can try to, it's just not effective.
How? You have to swim.
Yeah, and by the time, the more blood loss that you have, the more weak you're going to get. The more you're not going to be able to swim. Right. So even if you don't die from the blood loss, you might drown.
Exactly. My justification for it for being a horror movie is that if the movie scares you.
Was you scared to go into the ocean after you watched
I was
this?
scared to get in a goddamn bathtub as a kid watching this movie.
End of discussion.
Like, anytime I see, okay, this is how bad this movie has fucked me up mentally. Like, I still get creeped out from, the thought of deep waters because of this movie. Like,
and we can swim.
And yeah, and you know what, when the sun hits the top of the water,
and it sparkles,
and it sparkles in the beginning.
Yeah,
that has haunted me to this fucking day.
You mean when the moon?
Yeah, when the moon hits it.
When the moon, and you can see the reflection off the moon in the water.
Yeah, and that has fucked with me until this very day.
It's kind of like you see the reflection, but you still can't see what's there.
Right. And it could be a fucking lake I'm looking at. Yeah. And I still think there's a goddamn shark in that pond.
Yeah. I think
that's not true by any means.
I think that it opened the doors for a lot of other realistic animal attack films,
Right.
To make its place, or to take its place, or to be presented. There's a great movie from 1980 called Alligator, which had a sequel that came out in the early 90s, which I like. There's a great Tobe Hooper film called Eaten Alive.
Oh yeah.
Lake Placid. If you don't know any of these oldies, you might know the Lake Placid films, or one of the most recent ones that was made just a few years ago. There was a great movie called Crawl.
Yeah.
So, it's opened the doors for other animal attack movies.
Piranha.
I think, it might have gotten the ball rolling with Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
Yeah.
But let me tell you right now, as great as The Birds are, I would rather deal with a bunch of birds and a baseball bat than to even remotely try to deal with a fucking 25-foot great white shark.
Absolutely.
So, at the end of the day, we think this is a 5-star film.
Yeah, even though I haven't said it, just know it's a 5-star. This is a damn near perfect horror movie.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we think, or at least I think, I hope I'm talking for you, that Jaws 2 gets a bad rep because even though it's not as good, it is fucking enjoyable. It's rewatchable, and if you're horror fans like us, it hits the spot. And we both agree that Part 3 is very problematic, but it's kind of like charming in a goofy way.
Yeah.
And we all agree that Part 4 is very misunderstood and maybe a little underrated for its misunderstoodness. I just made that word up.
Yeah. Yeah, the misunderstanding for part.
No, I like misunderstoodness better.
Fucking idiot. The misunderstanding for Part 4 is just one of those things.
You know what? Let's
me.
do this. Let's do this. Because I feel like we spent more time saying the problems, what was wrong with Part 3, and not really what was wrong with 4. So let's do this. Let's say it goes 1, 2, 4, and 3.
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's do that. I think the fourth one is underrated, and I think it gets too much hate, and overall I think it's a little bit more enjoyable than 3 because
I told you that earlier, that I found 3 a little flat compared to 4.
Yeah. So let's do that. So the beginning of this, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's 1, 2, 4, 3.
Yeah.
Final ranking.
Final ranking.
Final rankings.
So it would go 5-star.
I would
for 1.
I would give 5-star to Jaws. Jaws 2. I'm good with. I'm good with a 3.5. 3.5.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'd give Jaws 4 a solid 2.
Solid 2.
And I'd give Jaws 3. Let's just give it a 1.5.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
1.5.
Yeah.
So those are our rankings. Those are our star approvals
for the Jaws movies, franchise, series. Check them out. If you haven't watched it, I don't know what kind of fucking rock you're living under.
Do yourself a favor.
Seen Jaws.
Do yourself a favor, people. It's the summertime is upon us. We are now in the month of July. And it's summertime. And
what better summer movie than Jaws?
Watch Jaws. Hell, do yourself a favor. If you're off of work one Saturday and you're hanging out with the fellas, or you're hanging out with the family, or it's your